Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Coffee with Carl. I am your host, Carl Zillner. I'm one of the attorneys here with Anderson Business Advisors. And today I want to talk a little bit about using a nominee as a trustee for your land trusts. So I've made a video previously talking about nominee, where it can be an individual. Let's talk about using an LLC. So when you create a nominee trustee for a land trust, the reason we would do that is to provide an additional layer of anonymity. Those of you who've joined us for our structure implementation class, we've gone through a lot of scenarios there, even shown examples of how the title or deed is recorded when using a nominee. But this is more of a 10,000 foot view here. So traditionally, and still to this day, a lot of times when a client wants to use a land trust and have an additional layer of anonymity, sometimes we can use an individual. So for our company, a lot of times that individual is going to be Clint Coons. He can serve as trustee, and that way that would show up on title of a property would be Clint Coons as trustee of name of the trust. Let's just call it Main Street Trust, dated, and then the date the trust was established. Now, we can use that same concept, but I can use an LLC to fulfill the same purpose. So in that case, we could let's call it Main Street LLC. So in that case, we could say Main Street LLC as trustee of Main Street Trust, dated, and then list the date the trust was established. So it fulfills the same purpose. Really, the biggest benefit is that your individual name does not need to be on the trust as trustee. Therefore, you retain or even increase your level of anonymity slightly because it no longer shows up on the deed of the property. Where would we use these types or this type of setup using either a person nominee or an LLC nominee? Probably best suited for investment properties, but you could even use this scenario for a personal residence where you want to retain the, say, homestead exemption in your state. And then we make the living trust the beneficiary, so it's part of your estate plan. So one more time, just to make sure everybody's crystal clear here, you can use an individual or an LLC as a nominee trustee on your trust. Purpose is to increase the level of anonymity for that property because the nominee trustees or the trustee's name is what goes on the title of a property. So if you're using a nominee, you're basically obscuring the actual owner of the property. So that's what gains you that extra level of anonymity. So hopefully that's clear for everyone. If not, and you're a platinum client, please always feel free to reach out. If you're not yet a client and considering it, we encourage you to reach out for your free consultation. And as always, please keep taking advantage of all of our free content out there, including Coffee with Carl, of course. So until next time, I want to thank everybody for joining me for this episode, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.